there, this is Ananya, and today we are back with another topic in OOP, and that is polymorphism and operator overloading. So today we'll be covering three topics. First one, we'll be having an insight into what polymorphism is. Next, we'll be understanding about magic, or rather say Dunder methods, and we'll see how they are used to overload operators, that is, operator overloading. Now, what is polymorphism? Polymorphism has been derived from two Greek words. The first one being poly, that means many, and the second one, morphism, that means forms. So many forms, polymorphism. Now let's see how polymorphism works out with a Python class method. Let's say we have two methods that says white bread and brown bread. Now if you can notice, these are two classes, and now have a close look at the methods they are implementing. You have def ingredients and calories in white bread class, and also you have ingredients and calories in the brown bread class. So how is the interpreter going to understand which method you want to access when? Well, that is done using the objects. Now let's have a look. White bread is being instantiated with the W object and brown bread via the B object. So let's say I am iterating inside or with the two objects W and B. So what I say is for info in W comma B. Now what does this mean? You are basically treating info as an object here. Because then when you iterate through the objects, what you can do is, this is basically a tuple, right? And what you do is you can treat it as an object that says info.ingredients and then info.calories. So firstly, it takes W and next time it takes the object B. So first time info.ingredients calls this one and calories from the white bread, and in the next iteration it calls ingredients and calories from the brown bread class. So you see polymorphism, many forms, right? Polymorphism. And you say that both ingredients and calories can belong to the class breads, both the breads, but they just have different characteristics, right? So white bread has flour, whereas brown bread has whole wheat. Calories are high in white bread, whereas it's low in brown bread, right? Now let's see how it works out. Just a quick run. And there you go. You have white bread printing out first and then brown bread. This is the underlying concept of polymorphism. I try to make it as simple as possible for you. Now, similarly, just remember you can also have parent classes and subclasses implementing the similar methods, just with different contents. Again, that's how you have inheritance and polymorphism being implemented. Now let's move on to what is operator overloading and what are magic methods. Let's first understand operator overloading. So they basically extend the performable actions or the meaning beyond the predefined operations of the operators. Now this might sound a little mind-boggling, but just hold on. We're going to see what it means. Let's say you have A is equal to 2. All right. I have two variables that says A is equal to 2. B is equal to 10, and now what I want to do is I simply want to print A plus B. Okay, A plus B. Let's see what it does. We obviously know the answer is going to be 12. Now what if instead of a number or an integer, say my B variable was a string? What do you think? I'm sure you know this. You're going to get an error, right? That says that it is an unsupported operand type for int and string. Int and string class variables cannot be added this way. Then what are you going to do? That's where you can implement the concept of operator overloading using magic methods. Now let us see what magic methods are. Now let's say it's a Dunder method also. They basically have two underscores before and after the method name. That is where the name comes from, right? So you have Dunder. D stands for double and under stands for underscores, and hence Dunder. Simple, right? And trust me, I'm sure you might have got one example in your head by now that we have already seen a Dunder method. And what is that? It's the init method, our initializer, our constructor. See this? You all remember this, right? Init? That's exactly what a magic method, or rather say a Dunder method is. Now, let's say I want to see all the possible methods that are available in the int class, okay, the integer class. So what I'm going to say is, how do we list out all the methods of a class? We simply say help. So print help int. This is basically going to list out everything to me. Now let's have a quick look. There you go. You have everything given to you right here. And can you see these? These double underscored prefixed and suffixed methods? That's exactly your magic methods. Now let's have a look. Let's see add, okay? What does add do? It basically adds to object values for you and returns it. May it be a string or a value, and we'll be seeing quite a few examples pretty soon. So in case you're confused, just relax. Next you have ceil, then float, floor division, whatnot. Then you have greater than equal to, then GT. We'll be seeing GT in just some time. That is greater than. We'll see all of this, how you can use it. All right. Now that you have had a look at what these things actually do, let's start off with a pretty simple example. So what I'm going to do is, just as I showed you that string plus int is throwing me an error, now let us look at this example, which might or might not throw us an error. Let's try it out. So just as the previous example I showed you all, what I'm trying to do is, I have created a class addition, which initializes a number, okay? And I have two objects. We can have various objects for a class, right? So the first time I'm passing 5, and the next time I'm passing 4. So for each object, I have stored 5 and 4 in num respectively. Now what I'm trying to do is, I'm trying to add object 1 plus object 2. Do you think that is possible? Well, let's try it out. And there you go. You have an error. It's actually not possible. Now let's read what the error says. If you can see, you again have this unsupported operand type error that says addition class plus addition class. Okay, you're basically trying to add two objects which is not supported. Now, how do you think we can fix this? And the answer is magic methods. We just learned what they do, right? Now let's try and fix this class so that we can perform our action. So in case y'all got it, remember the add method that we just saw? That is what's going to fix this result. Again, if y'all can notice, I have the exact same class, only with a little difference out here. So I have def add, remember the double prefix and suffix underscores. And to that, what I'm doing is, I'm taking a second number. Now let me run through it one by one. Initializer done, objects created, and 5 and 4 have been stored respectively in num. Now again, I'm adding object 1 plus object 2. Exactly at the point when you say object 1 plus object 2, it comes up to this add method. And object 1 basically gets assigned to self, and object 2 gets assigned to num2, and hence you can treat both of these as objects. Remember, I told you it doesn't matter if you write self or selfie, it's basically going to do the same thing, and that's what we're going to implement today. And what I'm doing is, I'm saying answer is equal to self.num plus number2.num. So what this does is, it basically adds 5 plus 4 using whatever respective number it had stored during the initialization process. And next I return the answer. And when you say print it, it'll do it for you. It's not going to throw that unsupported operand types anymore. See? Hold on. Okay, there you go. You have sum is equal to 9. Works, right? Now let's have a look at another example. Now what I'm going to do is, remember plus is equal to, remember all those assignment operators we had learned long back? Let's try and overload that. So let's say I have a list of items that I want to buy, and I have the customer name along with it. Now, like many examples that I had taken previously, I always forget to add something into the shopping list. And I remember at the end, oh God, I had to add this element again. And that's what I'm doing. I have again forgotten something, and I'm adding butter. So what I'm doing is, similar to this example, I was dealing directly with objects. That's what I'm doing again. For the class order, through the object details, I'm saying details plus is equal to butter. Okay. And now the magic method for this assignment operator, that is plus is equal to, you have the method I add. Similarly, if you have minus is equal to, then divide is equal to, you will have I div or I sub and so many. You have many magic methods, to be frank. You have operators and assignment operators, so many. If you want, you can just go on the net and search them out and have a look. But trust me, you can just use them whenever you want to, because it's impossible to mug up so much at once, right? Now, let's look at this once again. You can obviously understand that in the first time, whenever we say details plus is equal to butter, I basically want it to be added to this list, right? So firstly, let's just break this down. You have details plus details. Sorry, that should be equal to, right? Not plus, my bad. Okay. Details is equal to details plus butter. This is what we want to do. So details, the object details gets assigned to self, and butter gets assigned to new. Hence, these two become their respective objects. Now, since order is my list, see, we have said list self.order is, we have typecasted it to list. So I say self.order.append. Using the list method, I append the value of new to it. And next, I'm simply printing it out here rather than returning it. You must return it as much as possible, okay? And now what happens is, okay, let me comment this out. I forgot to do that. All right. And now let's run it. There you go. Though I'm a forgetful person, but I still have butter in my list now, right? Okay, so this was about the assignment operator overloading. Now I have this last example for you, just to get y'all into the flow of using operator overloading and the concepts of it. This one uses greater than method. So what I'm doing is I'm simply accepting two values of two different squares, that is the length. I'm giving them as 4 and 5 units respectively. So we all know about setters and getters by now. We have also done, or rather say understood, about weakly private variables and strongly private variables, so attributes. We have done all of that, right? So we know all of that. And now let's see what this method does right here. Def double underscore GD double underscore again. So this basically stands for greater than. What I'm doing is I'm simply storing, or rather say initializing S1 and S2 via the square class, and it sets and gets the values as and how we want it to. Now look at this. It says print S1 is greater than S2. So S1, S2 are objects, right? And now exactly when this is being called, or rather say implemented, it goes right up here to this method, and S1 gets assigned to self, S2 to site2, and it simply checks it, and it returns the false or true Boolean value right here, and we can print it. Now let's try it out. Now understanding it is pretty simple, right? And there you go. Using the getters, we got these two values and false. Why false? 4 is less than 5, right? Now let's try to make this 6, and let's see if it's working. And yes, it is working. It's true. Now you have various other sides, or rather say sides to this example. You can also calculate if it's less than or less than equal to and all of that, and give various conditions and make it as complicated as you feel. But for now, simple examples are going to help you grasp the concept, and I hope it really helped you all. All right, bye-bye. I'll see you all soon with some other topic.